Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for another edition of YBMcast, powered by Game 7 Baseball. Game7Baseball.com. Yeah.
I had to match that energy.
I love it.
Yeah, I saw the
we're bringing it today,
the crinkle in the eyes, you know, like I was like we're
because I can smell the grass, man.
It's
baseball season, bro.
I just tooted.
No, it wasn't that grass.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I've got bad gas. I had a lot of protein shakes.
Oh, mercy.
I would not do that.
Wheatgrass, you know, maybe a little Kentucky bluegrass. You're drinking that, you know, right?
It's fescue.
It's fescue.
It's fescue.
Oh, mercy. We were hoping to get Mr. Penning on today, but some scheduling conflicts. Dave, we're with you, bro. Enjoy your time off. They're getting ready to get into the busy season, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit today, along with a couple other topics. We're going to throw them at you. It's go time. But first, right here, we've got our good buddies over at Prime Sports Midwest Sporting Goods, Fenton, Missouri, in Champions Village, 1550 Ocello, I believe it is, Drive, in Fenton. Rick Benz, they're going to get you outfitted. They're going to get all your equipment. They just got a bunch of new softball gear in. If you saw that on social media, they were working with St. Louis Youth Sports Outreach recently. Billy gave them a big shout out. They're out in the community. That's what I love about Prime Sports Midwest. They're local.
Brick and mortar. Right, someday you can have a contact of a bat that you might want to look at, and then they do the if you want to go down there and they got some stuff that you can test.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got some stuff in the works coming this fall that we're going to try to work with Prime Sports at the Hitting Zone for some demo days. I know that they're going through that right now, so
that's cool.
I miss it. I didn't realize, I guess, at the time when Johnny Mac's, I guess, kind of was that last store.
Right.
That feels very different than going into an academy. And this is nothing against Academy Sports or Dick's Sporting Goods or anything like that. It's just a little different when you get a chance to get inside of it, like the old Johnny Mac's. And of course now Prime Sports is the only brick and mortar we have.
Right.
And they got a cool little thing they do. It's like a vending machine. Did you see that?
I saw that. Isn't that cool?
It's I'm not exactly sure what's in it. I doubt that you can let it get up to a certain thing and hit a button and you win a glove. But you might be able to put in a few dollars, get some bat tape or eye black or something like that. Looks like that kind of stuff. Batting gloves.
Yeah, and then they got the nutritional side. They got the bat. I think that's cool. I love those things.
I thought it was really neat when they were unloading that thing. Rick had posted it on his social media and then of course on the business page, and
absolutely,
I was like, how do I get one of those?
You got to give Rick a call if you're looking. You want to get a vending machine for your place? Give him a call, man.
Yeah, heck yeah,
absolutely. And we're also doing this here. They have provided our bucket of baseballs, and these are the good ones.
ROLBs, yep.
High school balls. We got the old Louisville Slugger.
Fungo, 36-inch ash. You got to swing it. You got to swing it. Don't let this thing swing you. It is a big bat.
That's the outfielder. Get a little extra pop in it.
It's got some barrel to it too.
Yeah, it does,
it's not like one of the skinny ones. I will tell you though, I can tell that I'm getting older because the other day I was hitting fungos and I was like, I have this fungo that I love. It's camo. It's got a camo paint job on it, and I love it, love it, love it. And I was like, standing at home plate, and I was trying to do, cut fours and stuff like that and plays to plate. And I was like, I need the metal one. I'm trying to hit the ball over their head, and I was like, I can't hit the ball over 250 feet anymore. So I've been stretching and working out just to be able to hit the ball 290 feet so I can at least hit it over their head on a line.
There you go.
This will do it.
Yes, it will.
And it'll have some flex in it, too, so you can really snap that thing.
On the other side of this, we have our Marucci hitting net. This is what we're giving away here. This is some good stuff. We're trying to reach 1,000. We're working on it. We're working to reach 1,000 subscribers. Right now, we're at 966. Is that correct?
Yes.
966 subscribers. Yeah. And since we've been doing this, I appreciate everybody supporting. Remember, though, Subscribe, put in your comment. We love Prime Sports Midwest. Get you in the contest. Let's get in here. Let's finish this off. Let's give this away, right? Let's get to 1,000. Let's give this away. Remember, though, if you've already subscribed, I'm sorry, we'll do some more stuff. We got some gear coming from Prime Sports Midwest. We got some new T-shirts. We'll be doing some giveaways. We got some hats coming. We got a bunch of stuff happening. We got our shirts, dude. They're looking pretty cool.
Yeah?
We hit dingers.
That's what we do.
And it's coming.
I don't.
Well, we're too old. I couldn't. Honestly, man, if I could hit it out of the infield, I'd be happy.
I pretty sure I might get lucky if I stand at the mound or maybe in shallow left. Or if I'm on that 115-foot, 9U field, I think I got it.
Yeah,
I think I got it.
That's our home run derby style right there, bro.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yep. And I'm swinging one of those -5s I got to swing in high school, that 34-29 reflex gold.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to swing. I can get it. Maybe with a golf ball.
But we appreciate it, and we appreciate Prime Sports Midwest helping us out with this stuff. So if you want a nice bucket sitting outside, got your fungo for your in and out early on, got your hitting net to get all the kids warmed up, got some baseballs for you here, got a dozen baseballs in there. We got some stuff working for you. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. And let's talk a little baseball.
Let's do it.
Right?
There's a lot happening right now.
There is. I'm going to push this down real quick. And we'll bring this back up here in a little bit. Keep that baseball there, though.
Okay, I'll keep that baseball.
I'm gonna do that because we got some stuff behind us here. You see behind us in the window there, we've got some dates coming up for Game 7 baseball. We've got March and April up there. March, their first cat out of the bag, dude. There's some really good stuff here happening. We got the Shamrock Shootout down in Branson. Got then in March, next week in March. These are mid-March, last weekend of March, Midwest Rebels Invitational. Then March 31st, April 2nd, back down in Branson for the Spring Ring Classic. And then to the April 1st weekend, the Arch Madness.
Yeah. Love it.
Arch Madness. It's coming, right?
You get down there in Branson early, too. It's always nice down there. It's not really crowded. And Level 2 Steakhouse for anybody that's celebrating anything. That's where we went last year.
That's at the top of that hotel, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. Dave Penning sent that request. It was at the same. We went down there to watch the team play, and that's where our anniversary weekend. So we went over there to Level 2, and they have a nice couple steaks, really good appetizers, and some adult beverages.
I love that. You got to have a place to eat, right?
I'm just used to everything on the Strip. We've been Branson's an easy drive, right? So you go down there, it's got the Ozarks. You're close to that, and then the shopping, of course. But a lot of chains, and then random diners and stuff like that. Get in there and check those out because sometimes they're pretty darn good.
I like the local fare.
Yeah, just that grill is well seasoned.
And that's what I liked what we were able to do this time with the Winter Workout Tour. If you haven't checked out the Winter Workout Tour, it's up on the site. We got 4 pieces up there. We started up in Quincy, and talking to the Visitors Bureau up there. We were talking with Holly from their Visitors Bureau. I believe it's Holly Kane is her name. And we were out at off the river there. There's that old Mediterranean mini castle basically that they have as their office, and they were talking about the restaurants and the things to do as you're up there on for a tournament. And I always think that's kind of cool because you always have the other kids. You can get away from the ballpark, go up maybe a day early, spend the evening, eating the local fare, checking out the stuff. There's Quincy University there. You can check that out. There's a lot of cool stuff happening around that area.
Oh yeah, especially Quincy. It's an old river town, and there's a lot of history in Quincy. But again, like when you're going out of town, what's the purpose for the most part is to have some team chemistry being built. Letting the kids have a little bit of fun. If you're old enough, maybe they get to stay back at the hotel and the parents can go out for a night. And I remember what it was like coaching college ball. This is nothing against college athletics or anything like that, but it's pretty typical to go to a chain restaurant.
Yeah.
They always have the tax exempt stuff, and so it's never an issue to feed a big group of people. And so, eating Chipotle every single weekend you would travel, or Applebee's, because of the convenience, can get old. And so it's, you go out of town to Quincy, definitely find that small steakhouse or a little diner, breakfast spot to hit versus, getting that free breakfast.
Yeah, because we went, what was the pub?
Kelly's Irish Pub.
Yeah, Kelly's Irish Pub. It was really good.
Yep,
we went there for lunch. That was really good.
Yep, I've stopped through there on my way of some of my hunting travels between Illinois and Missouri up that way, trying to chase snow geese.
And I always look for a good club sandwich. I like club sandwiches at lunch. It's always been something great club, big old thick. It's all up in your nose and everything, right?
So, never mind. I was just thinking about our last show that we got a chance to do and sticking things in your face, and I was like, big club stuck in his face.
That's right. And it was good. It was really good. The bacon was great, nice thick bacon. And that's where you see, and the place was packed. Jam-packed. From the time we got there to the time we left, they were on a wait.
Good vibe?
Oh, man, yeah. And it was just good food.
This is places. Random here, because sometimes in the small towns, do they smoke in there, or is it non-smoking?
I didn't see any smoking.
Yeah, I just was curious. Not that it
I
matters
understand,
necessarily,
but I didn't see any. No, they didn't ask. In that respect, and usually they'll ask, and if they're still at, but I didn't see any. I think pretty much that's gone the way.
I go to a small diner in the middle of the state of Missouri, and
still smoking.
They still smoke. Yeah, and there still be 80, 85-year-old guys in there either smoking cigars or smoking cigarettes.
There you go. Yeah, you can go to the Scar Lounge.
Eating biscuits and gravy, and watching the ashes just fall right down, and that's not pepper. But they're gonna annihilate those eggs and.
How did we get here?
I have no idea. Quincy, good town.
Oh yeah, we're talking food.
Yeah,
it's easy to do. But see, that's the whole thing about this. That's why this podcast is so good. We're well rounded.
Yep.
And you can tell I am well rounded.
Well rounded. That's a good well rounded barrel that we're giving away.
Exactly.
That was a nice plug. That was a good plug.
I love that.
That was timing.
That was good stuff.
Timing is everything in this sport.
Woo. I'll tell you, Midwest Rebels.
It's been like 3 weeks since we've been in the studio. So
it has been. We've been rolling. Midwest Rebels Invitational, March 25th, 26th. We're going to be out there. It's part of the Super 7 tournaments that YBM will be out. We're going to be, you got the 8U. I love this. The 8U sold out there. That's good stuff. Got a lot of teams. 13U, Midwest Rebels, Grind Purple, Power Alley Dirtbags, Troy Outlaws are going to be. I love that. Power Alley Dirtbags.
Well, I love the Power Alley thing. So that's, left center, right center gap.
That's killer.
That's actually the name of our corporation is Power Alley Sports.
You know what? We got to do this, Mitch. We got to come back
That's random.
to this. No. We got to do this, dude. I've done it in the past, and I kind of, but see, they belong on a top 10
names list,
right? Power Alley Dirtbags. That's unique, bro.
I like the Dirtbags.
I do too, but I love that they added the Power Alley to the Dirtbags.
Yeah,
right.
It's
because you're a
dirtbag
dirtbag, and we're hitting in the alleys, baby.
Well, dirtbag reminds me of like the Lenny Dykstra, that era of the Phillies kind of guy, that kind of player.
I love that. Harrisburg, Illinois. So we gotta remember that.
Ooh. We have a team inside the hitting zone. It's a youth team called the Whippets.
The Whippets.
It's a baseball
after
team.
The dog, or
I'm not exactly sure where it comes from. Me being the immature person, I'm thinking some Ready Whip upside down. Taking that, but
we hope not.
Oh, that's that North County in me, and that's where they're from. So.
14U, we've got in the AA, they've got a AA and a AAA side. Illinois Gators, Coach Warner's squad, Edwardsville, Illinois. You got, of course, the Midwest Rebels, Midwest Futures. Coach Horn's got his couple teams in there. Kilker, with the Midwest Rebels, Missouri Redhawks, Rawlings Tigers, St. Louis Prospects. I hadn't seen this one, the Z20 Bats out of West Frankfort, Illinois. West Frankfort, is that north or is that over east? Not sure. I'm not sure.
I think that's on your way to like Nashville. So I feel like it's down in that Highway 24,
Southern Illinois. Okay.
I feel like it's that direction.
So got a good lineup there. 5 teams on the AAA major side: Adidas Athletics, Burlington Mud Dogs out of Burlington, Iowa.
Mud Dogs.
See?
That's what I like about the minor leagues. Going back to kind of your names things, is you're getting a lot of these which got that minor league feel. The dirt bags, Mud Dogs, Mud Cats, things like that.
Yeah.
That's fun. Outlaws.
I love it. That's why I always like the Midwest Mafia. That's just killer.
I do. I liked it. How sweet would it have been if they come out in like some zoot suits with some chains hanging like pregame? That'd have been awesome. Looking like Pinky Blinders.
Oh, man. You got Midland Bandits, Coach Gerard, Coach Hewlett's got their squads in there. St. Louis Naturals, Coach Harden's squad. So I think we got a pretty good lineup there on that AAA side. That's going to be fun. So we talked with Jason from the Midwest Rebels a couple weeks ago and went out to their facility. I like what they're doing. They work hard. They're up in Moscow Mills. They have their impact training facility up there. I think it's interesting how you're seeing groups like this. Not everybody is built for the national stage, the AAA stage. They've got quite a few of the AA teams. I like that. Not that they're not growing and working toward it. They've partnered with 5-Star up there. It's an interesting thought process that they're putting together. And I think what's interesting to me is you're seeing, like yourself, you've seen some of these smaller groups who are continuing to grow and develop and work toward it. They've got some good dudes over there. I'm sorry. I got a catch in my throat.
You got a what?
A catch in my throat.
Is that the same thing as a frog?
I guess you could call it that. I think it's gone now, but I didn't want to throw up a frog out of my mouth. That'd be ugly.
It's not gone. It's still not gone.
No.
Do you need a drink? Do we need a timeout?
I'm good.
We're on a pitch clock.
Maybe.
Where's your cup of coffee?
It's sitting over there.
Perfect.
I made it, and I left it over there. So we will. We'll have hilarious. Lauren give us a break here, and she's going to grab my coffee for me. And anyway,
the things that happen that people cannot see, like see what happened after 3 weeks. It dry rotted from not. We have to do shows every week. That's why
we are completely off the rails.
See, that's what I mean. Like, this is why.
Well, it happened because you had a catch in your throat.
It's all gonna stay in it. I don't care. I ain't editing this out.
No, don't. You got to leave that in there.
This is what it's all about, right? Catch in the throat.
Did you do that because we're talking about baseball? Is that why you use a catch in your throat versus like a frog?
No, I'm old.
Oh, I thought that's where the frog came from, is because you were old.
No, catch in the throat. Got to catch in the throat.
Never heard it.
That's Missouri too, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you say in L.A.?
I'm gonna hack up a lung.
No, you guys drink like green teas and yeah, no.
No, I don't drink.
You guys do like smoke cloves and stuff out there in L.A.
What? I don't. That's crazy. Now we're cutting out. Anyway, Midwest Rebels. We're going to get back to this. They partnered with 5-Star national program.
Is that the pitching?
No, it's the 5-Star is the national group teams.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. Club.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just kind of like, I guess.
U.S. Nationals, U.S. Prime,
Nationals,
Canes.
U.S. Prime. Exactly.
Gotcha. Midland.
Exactly. And that, to me, is what's interesting about that. So it gives the kids, if they've got players that are at that level, an opportunity to play on a national stage, which I think is where it should be. That to me, is kind of an interesting take on that, where you've got a program, you're still working, developing kids at the AA level and letting them do and work and whatnot. And because how many clubs have kids that really play on a national stage? Right?
Right.
And
that's facts.
But if you've got a couple of kids at 15, 16 that really develop well and are playing at that level, it gives them an opportunity to be part of or to get an opportunity to be picked for that kind of team and go and perform at that level.
You do have to see where you're at, and they can find out real fast. If they go down to or go up to Kansas City, go to Michigan or somewhere of that nature and go, we're this national team, they go up there and get destroyed, well, maybe they have to second guess them, what they're doing. And that's the things that we have to do as well as club owners too, is find out what we're at. How do we know what we really are? And they do have a nice little 15U team that I can remember that can play a little bit. And they got some guys that can do it.
Yeah.
The thing about the national group is what you attract to is the ability to get into some of these tournaments and events. And maybe it's a handful of those guys. It's not a full Rebels team or something of that nature. Maybe it's 5 or 6.
Yes,
and then they partner with somebody else to bring in 5 or 6 guys.
That's what 5 Star is. They have those guys that are Rebels, and 5 Star comes and says, hey, I think these kids we're going to put them on this team to play in these tournaments nationally. Yep. And that's what it boils down to. So if you want that opportunity and you're a Rebel, I guess just kind of work harder, in that respect. There you go.
At the end of the day, that's what it's about. You got to work hard.
And so I thought that was really interesting, and we haven't talked, since that in this setting. So I thought that to me was a very curious thing, and I thought was a really kind of smart thought process. Now, to be sure, like the Gamers, the Gators, prospects, they have teams that are quality and they go and play, and that's fine. That's model. But I thought it was interesting how Jason was approaching that as a model. Within the club, we're working with a lot of these AA teams, a couple AAAs, but then they have the opportunity and partnered with 5 Star that they get to that level and they have a kid. Because like you said, if you've got like 3 14U teams and you've got kids that you think are getting to that point and you group them together and go down and play in a Memphis in Kansas City and you play a pretty good sized regional tournament and you get waxed, well, you kind of know we're not quite there yet.
Yep.
But if you go down there and you compete and you're winning a little bit, then you can say, okay, we know where we're at that point, right?
Definitely start with the competing side of things because, at the end of the day, like what is winning at this youth travel level? A little bit of bragging rights, I get it. Whether it's the Show Me State games or a World Series here, like you do have that bragging right to say that you are this, champion or whatever. But at the end of the day, what are you actually really winning? It's the competition that you're playing against. Mm-hmm. It's competing. It's the national levels of competing against these guys where you stack up. That's the winning, to me. And what did you take home from that? That to me is how you win. Because if you go down there and get your butt kicked, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
So come back home, reevaluate what we have to do. Let's go to one step below that. We compete there. Okay, now we have a little bit of success. Let's go back and try it again.
Right.
Because now you know what you're seeing. If you're making the adjustments like you're supposed to, then let's go do it. And if we compete and go 0 whatever the tournament is, 0-5, and you go down there and lose by 15 runs total, I would consider that a solid weekend. You know what I mean? And especially if you're going up against guys that throw maybe 85 to 90 at 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And you get a couple of hits, it's a 3-1 ball game. That's pretty clean. It's pretty fun. It's stress, a lot of stress in that game. You know what I mean? So to me, that's the winning. It's not the actual, 1-0 or 2-0 or 4-1 in a tournament.
Yeah.
I understand that's why we play the game, but there's still development involved. You still have a process.
And that's the key, right? The process. And then we talked with Rick Lawson up in Quincy with the Gem City Bombers. He's got some youth teams. Doesn't have, it's not huge. It's a little smaller pocket, right? But he's working to build that program. And then what they do after that, high school-wise, it's not as set. They still have a Legion up there. They have the club. Where do they go? He just started coaching there at Quincy High School. So I think there's some interesting things happening. And as we talked to him, that was the focus of it. They're able to use Quincy High Schools or Quincy University's workout facility there through the winter. It's nice. And they are focused on development. And I thought one of the telling things he said in our discussion was that, he said, I'm looking at MLB, and he says, walks, you cut down, the teams that win are the teams that don't make the errors and don't give up walks. He said, well, if that's good enough at MLB, why isn't that good enough for us? So that is his focus, and he's working on those fundamental aspects. Don't walk guys, be fundamental, don't make as many errors. And I think right there, if you're not giving up free bases, we talk about that all the time. If you don't give up free bases, you're going to have an opportunity to win a ball game, right?
Yeah, you hear it a lot in softball because softball chants a lot, and they always say we love free bases, and it creates runs. Right at the end of the day, you can do so much things. You walk the leadoff guy, almost all the time he scores.
Yep.
I mean, look at this, the numbers, and then you play youth sports, it's always going to happen. You're going to bunt. It's like I have a young man doesn't hit necessarily that great, but we put him at leadoff because great eye.
Yeah.
Always gets on base. So if I can guarantee that he gets on base 50% of the time through a walk or slap single or whatever like that, I'm like, okay, next we're bunting right away. So I put my next best light hitter, if you will, just to bunt, just to scratch a run. And if it happened to get lucky and I steal them both the next pitch, I got runners at second, third, nobody out, and I got my heart of the lineup up. And it's just, building your roster based on what you have, and you just pay attention.
Yeah.
You never know what you have. And that's what I said to those guys that this winter that we were focusing on our pitching. It's nice to throw hard, but the guys who throw hard have it in them. They just have it in them. And if not, let's learn how to pitch.
Because when we're talking about development, I think it's an interesting construct, because right away you can see kids that are more athletic than others. That's just a fact. That doesn't mean that kid can't take the next step and work to get more athletic. But there's kids that are just that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you're talking about development, it's still a matter of peaking the talent that the individual has. And where does that start? The mind, because the body follows the mind.
I wonder if you're going to plug it. Yeah, hell yeah.
Always, bro.
No, I'm kind of believing.
Because you talk about what? It's you. This is your big one. What would I go? Where am I going?
I have no money. I have
baseball IQ.
Oh yeah. Well, I just never mind.
Right?
Yeah, I was going back to being immature. That's the
baseball IQ.
It is the thing.
That's the development, isn't it?
It does, and having conversations. So I worked with the 9U team last night, which is our 9U team, and it was frustrating because of just the attention to detail. And then I had a chance to work with a 12U team. The 3 years difference, just in the mind itself, crazy. Mm-hmm. 9-year-olds aren't really watching a bunch of baseball games and understanding it. Now these 12-year-olds I started understanding it. You could just tell by the differences, because at 9 years old, there's nobody really wanting to be the next Ozzie Smith, or Derek Jeter or Trey Turner.
Maybe one in a million.
And granted, we have a kid on that 9U team that's on the Tribe who's a really talented young player. His name is Bryce. Short kid too, but man, I love the way he throws it, the way he swings it. Just his actions are different, right? And then you go to the 12U, and it's like I can have conversations with these kids, and those kids that are paying attention to baseball and have high IQ, their adjustments are quicker. When you run them through drills, they understand what crossovers mean. They understand what shuffling means. They understand the right foot, left foot field. They get those things much, much quicker. That's
development. That to me, and developing the baseball IQ, because talent physically is there or not there. And you have those things. You have coordination. You have some kids, their bodies don't grow in it till late. Mm-hmm. You see you see the future of it, the potential of things. But I think the development process needs to focus on those things. How are you teaching mechanics and allowing that player to understand how to play the game. I would much rather lose every game by 1 run and my team continue to get better, hit cutoffs, play the game right. At 9U, learn double cuts, how to turn a double play, the right footwork to get to a ball, those types of things, how to cover first, PFPs constantly, those types of things, and lose every game. That doesn't mean I think you would, but I'm just giving an example, because if you start those processes in that respect, I believe eventually that's where you win a ball game. The result becomes or it becomes the result of your work and what you're teaching and the basis of the game.
Oh, heck yeah. It's the byproduct of everything that you're working hard for. And you realize, like, when we lose a bunch of games in this sport, it's the smallest things that cost you to lose, right? Not covering a bag, not paying attention, being upset because some kid barreled a ball to the second baseman and you thought it was a hit, and your second baseman makes a dive, but your first baseman dove for it too. Who's covering the bag?
Right.
Well, you're upset as a pitcher. Well, that runner gets on with 2 outs. You throw the next ball away because you're upset. We got a runner at second base and a slap little bloop single. You're down a run. And so you've got to. I am big on. I understand the whole body follows the mind thing, because at the end of the day, like, we have to train this,
yes,
to let everything else come into play.
Exactly.
And I have been more focused on developing the mind more so than the physical tools, because again, physical tools are physical tools.
Yes.
And yes, you can get bigger, faster, stronger.
Right.
It's available to you, but in the game of baseball, the mind works first, and if we can keep the mind confident, everything else will fall in place.
Mental focus, and that's why I call it these things. I really do. I think it's because you're doing in training, you're training the body, you're training the physical focus. That's mechanics, all those things. That's physical focus. If you've trained your body to do that, then it's the mental focus that you need in a game to be able to have that confidence to allow your athleticism, to allow those things to come to the forefront. When I'm in the box, I'm thinking of my approach, not my mechanics.
Yep.
I'm thinking of what pitch he's going to throw me rather than the mechanics. So now my focus is on, I want to see the ball out of his hand.
We talked about that the other week.
Yes, yeah, and that was one of the things you were talking about when we were there with the Tribe and Prime. And I think that's the key, right? So I've trained my body, all of those things. So now my mental focus, my baseball IQ has to come in. And now all I have to be concerned about is I want to see this fastball this kid has, and I want to see it as early as I can and put a good swing on it.
Yep. There's nothing else I have. I mean, we talked about it again a couple weeks ago when we did our at the hitting zone and the conscious thought versus unconscious thoughts. And no matter what, it's see ball, hit the ball versus mechanics.
Quit worrying about it. If you got a mechanical issue, that's in the cage tomorrow after the game.
Yep. I don't know where. I think back about the last 15 years of hitting and things like that, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what was I doing? Not necessarily wrong. Just teaching the kid how to hit, but how do I get them from being the cage monster that they are to go out there to the field and have the
plate
confidence?
Monster.
Yeah, to have that in game.
That. We ought to give away an award for plate monsters.
Please set it shown to a big kid, because he likes to finish those plates. Like, you know what I mean? I loved hitting in a game. There's nothing more than I loved than going up in a pressure situation, and it's one pitch against one swing. And I know that pitcher's putting on his best pitch, throwing the best baseball he can, and I'm going to put on my best swing.
Yeah.
And the thing for me is, I was able to, if I was able to do that because I was going well, I could walk away going, man, I just missed it. I popped up. I'm not happy. Nobody's happy about failing, right, or an offer or something. But at the end of the day, if I put my best swing on, I know that I just probably missed it, or I can then have the conscious thought after I'm done to fix it the next time. but I want to see the ball and hit it as far as I can.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's about a foot to the ground, but I felt like if I swung hard and I hit it and got lucky or whatever, who knows what's going to happen? It's 1 versus 8 guys in front of you.
And to come back to this, as we finish up, because I've been on the winter workout tour. One of our stops was the Midwest Futures, and the Midwest Futures have been pretty much a high school squad. They got a couple of younger teams now, and Donnie Horn is working with their youth program. And I always liked Donnie's one of the coolest cucumbers I've ever seen on the field, off the field. Is
it that big old beard that he's got?
I don't know, man, but I never see this guy. He never just like, yeah, it's cool, man. He's one of the coolest dudes I've ever seen.
I got the Horn family. I got to coach his kids a long time ago, going through when they were at the hitting zone when they played for the Tribe, and so I've got to know him for quite a while. And you're right, he's a cool cat, man. He ups and downs of the game. He just looks at his teams and says, hey, this is what we got to do. He's very rarely does he yell. Very rarely does he get upset at umpiring. He is an even keel cat.
Yeah. And we got to meet John Myers, one of the owners there, talked with TJ Sinovich, and I thought those were interesting conversations because that was more on the high school level, and that way working down. But yet a lot of the same thought process, a lot of the same approach. They have it's a matter of development. The winter workout tour was about seeing what we see within that structure. How do these guys function in those places development-wise? What's the development? I think the biggest thing, and I think John talked, TJ was at Francis Howell, so he's played for guys that are successful. They've been around a lot of success. They see that approach, and you can see it in the players. They're not running after this guy. They've got guys. They're developing them. They're working at them, working with them, and you can get bigger, faster, stronger, physically. But it still boils down to what kind of confidence you have. What are you doing? Do you know how it is? Confidence in those things, believing in yourself, understanding what your abilities are, and go out and execute a pitch, execute a swing, execute a ground ball. Because when the ball is hit, your mind is prepared for that.
All the reps that you've taken through the winter, it's there.
One of the things that I always, when I had younger teams, 9, 10, 11, 12, one of the things that always interesting, and a lot of people used to play this, I don't know if we still do it, but at the competition, the ground ball game.
Like knockout?
Knockout, yeah. Told you, dude.
Old.
He's
been knocked out a few times. Maybe that's the why.
You got these kids fielding balls, you get the one kids that are out, they make a mistake here and there, but for the most part, they're fielding balls and they're feeling good and whatnot. And I would go up to him after and I said, now what's the difference between this and a game? And you get this.
I love the deer in the headlights.
Because they don't get it.
We call it the thumbs up thing, because when you go like this, you shrug your shoulders, there goes the thumbs up. I'm like, so you get it? No, obviously not.
No, because the simple answer to that and to the kids is you knew it was coming. You knew the ball was being hit to you. The difference on the ball field, especially defensively, and I think this is the biggest one, is you don't believe that the ball's going to be hit to you. And as a fielder, I think the guys that are excellent defensively and good that way have a mindset and are able to focus in to where they believe at every pitch the ball's going to be hit to them, and they are prepared mentally to field the baseball.
Yeah, sometimes I think about things like that. Maybe sometimes it's too much hyper-focus kind of things, because the timing of pre-pitches and stuff like that, like we're going into that part too. It's like kids don't understand how to see the ball out of the hand and watch what the ball is doing. And this happens from throws across the diamond. You'll see that everybody waits until a certain point to start to pick up the baseball. And then it's like when you watch a first baseman and you have this happens at the high school level. You see your third baseman running down the line trying to get ready to throw on the run. I know that him throwing the ball is going to run up the first base line.
Yeah,
if it's thrown at me, right?
Right.
If not, if it's thrown over here, it's probably going to hit my right shoulder. I know that's going to happen. I've played catch with this kid numerous times, but what do? They wait. Now the ball's in flight. Oh, I have to go get it.
Right.
It's not we don't
No
have no
anticipation.
preparedness. Yeah. It's one of those things that just you don't see it. Nobody watches the catcher set up inside.
And as a 9, 10, 11-year-old, they're not going to understand that. That's why those things, remember, and that's why it's practice and repetition and talking to these kids, because they still may not do it at 9, 10, 11. But you understand, hey, remember, you got to anticipate. You remember, if he's on the run and throwing this way as it's coming out, usually the ball's going to tail. You continue to talk to them, and at some point, if this player will come to the realization. And that's the development process. It's that continual repetition that they understand. Hey, you know what? Oh, yeah, coach said that.
Yeah, the aha moment.
Right.
And this is probably now my favorite part of the game to have those conversations with. Sometimes I feel that I overcoach when I'm on the field, and there's something that happens. But what I have found is that if you wait till the post game to have a conversation about something that happened early in the game, a lot of times people forget about what has happened and the situation scenario. So a lot of times I like to try to attack that. Hey, what were you thinking? What, next time, what would you do differently? Not that they made the mistake. I'm not questioning that. Just like, what could you do? Even if they make the play, but it looks difficult, like how can you make it easier? I want to see where, again, going back to the IQs, things like thinking like that. That's maybe my favorite part of the game nowadays.
Yeah.
What did you see in the last, 3 batters, the pitcher's approach? I thought I saw 3 straight sliders. So, what are you expecting on that when you get up there? Don't think outside the box, think slider. And if he doesn't throw you a slider, you let it go. But guys want to make things difficult because they're down 0-1, so they want to swing at any strike, so they have bad at bats and they lose confidence. The game is just so mentally hard, and it's always been that way. I just didn't realize it when I was a kid.
I don't think any of us did, really, in that respect.
Well, then, I guess on the flip side of things, I'm on the other side of the sidelines. I pay attention to it a lot more.
Absolutely,
because I want confident players, because I feel like and going back to just the thing about knockout, it's competition too.
Yeah,
the way that they want to compete internally, you have to love that.
And if you're teaching them in that, to me, that was the point of it. I understand the competition. I love that part of it, but the mental aspect of that and getting them to realize something in their mind that you knew the ball was coming to you. How do you turn your mind into that when you're on the field? How do you understand that? How do you create that thought process in your mind when you're on the diamond in a game? And that to me is the toughest thing for any coach, is that translation. As you said, are you a cage monster or are you a plate monster? And that's the difference. We call them, 5 o'clock hitters as opposed to 7 o'clock hitters.
Yep.
And I think that's the key. How do you translate the mind from this moment to that moment and be able to do that? Because what's the difference? The unknown. I don't know what he's throwing to me. I don't know if it's going to be hit to me. And that's where the game changes and the mental aspect has to come into play.
Science of Hitting. Ted Williams, 1986. If you haven't read it, he talks about being a guest hitter. And it's funny because he would say, if I guessed wrong, I was wrong, but if I guessed right, I was right. And it's like, when you think about that kind of stuff, like, and he obviously was a great hitter. And you think about just if he wanted to hit a fastball, He would guess a fastball and guess in certain counts that made it make sense. The odds were in his favor.
Percentages.
If he got it, if he got his fastball, he went for it, he swung for it, and whatever happened. Sometimes he got lucky, sometimes he didn't. But then when you take that away, like you are thinking about something though. You are sticking to a process before you ever step in that box and put that bat off your shoulders to get ready to hit. Like all that happens right to that moment that he gets ready to release the ball. Then it's off. Shut it off. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting. He just threw me first pitch slider. He's gonna throw me inside pitch right now to set up that outside slider again. So I'm gonna stick to it. And if he doesn't throw it, let it go. And if he gets you that at bat, it's supposed to happen. Right? The umpire gets one, you get one, and the pitcher gets one, and the hitter gets one. That's how I look at 3 at bats. I just try to do my best to not let the umpire win one.
Right.
And I try to win that one from the umpire, right? Sometimes a pitcher's just going to make that great pitch and gets you out. Sometimes he'll make 2 mistakes in at bat instead of just none or one, right? So I think that's why I love the game so much is because of that side of it. I love wanting the ball to hit to me. And we do a drill. I saw it from Oklahoma softball, actually. It's 2 fungo hitters, and there's a kid in the middle. And there's a ground ball hit to the kid. The kid throws it to, who hit the ball, to a catcher there. That person then turns around and catches, person turns around, catches a ground ball being immediately hit after they've thrown the ball. So the 0 time to think.
Yeah.
Right? And if you make a mistake, you have to turn a page. So it's a great mental drill too. But watching the kids all of a sudden take missiles as line drives, like some of the things that we might be afraid of, or diving, things that kids aren't typically doing, but because they want to compete that hard in one particular drill, it amazes me. And then when you think about a game time situation and they cannot field the routine ground ball hit to you, you're not paying attention.
I agree.
You don't want to be the guy that makes the mistake. And whatever those pressures come from.
Whatever that thought process is, right?
Yep, we got to throw that out the door.
Absolutely. I agree.
I've literally watched, Coach Jamal was on the other day, and it cracks me up because he'll do some drills and he'll hit fungos off of a knee real close to you. And I mean, he doesn't necessarily, hit them softly so you can field them. I'm like, I don't want to be in there, you know what I mean? Because he's hitting lasers at somebody. And then I realize, I'm watching this kid just knock everything down. Not a single ball off his chest, off his face, nothing. Missiles.
Yeah.
He goes out in a game and can't field a regular 3-hopper. Crazy.
We're coming back. Dave Penning, Dave Schmidt, Game 7 baseball. If you haven't got signed up, go get signed up. They've got some stuff, Quincy, they got Tennessee, they got Kentucky, they got Branson, they got Lake of the Ozarks, Ballparks National, Show Me, the new place down there. They got all kinds of stuff going on this summer. We're looking forward to a big-time summer. We're going to be back talking with Dave. Hopefully we'll get him back on before we get into the tournament season. But looking forward to the Midwest Rebels Invitational. Going to be out there, our first go-around, hopefully.
It's not as,
will be,
I was going to say, it's not as cold or not as windy as last year.
Yeah,
I should be out there for this one, especially if you're out there on a Sunday.
Yeah, we'll be doing the 14U championship game, live streaming that. So make sure you've got that. We'll be putting this stuff out. And once again, want to say thanks to Prime Sports Midwest. Remember, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the dinger next to it because that's what we do.
We hit dingers.
That's right.
Even with a fungo. I was going to say. Well, this one's thick enough. I can probably hit live off a guy that throws like 70 poo, so we'll be all right.
There you go. And so subscribe. Throw in there comments. We love Prime Sports Midwest. Go check them out. Fenton in Champions Village, 1550 Ocello Drive. And tell Rick, YBM sent you, or whoever's at the counter. Tell them YBM sent you. We appreciate that very much. Mitch, as always, buddy.
Yeah, don't forget, we got something else that goes with these, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah. You're absolutely correct. My fault.
He didn't fail. He just went 0 for 1.
I love that. I'll take that. But now we're going to go 1 for 2.
Okay.
All right? Because Mitch over there has thrown in this. So this is what's cool. Not only do you get this stuff, but Mitch has thrown in a fielding and hitting lesson with this package. So at the Hitting Zone, Mitch over here going to give you a free hitting lesson, a free fielding lesson, along with the winner there. So if you've got a player, it's a good deal, man. Jump in there. Doesn't matter, softball. Doesn't matter if it's baseball, does it, Mitch?
They could be old and play slow pitch softball. If you want me to teach you to shoot a jumper, I can shoot a jumper. It's just weird that I'm 6 foot tall and 280 pounds, and you don't exactly picture me for a guard, but I can shoot a 3-pointer.
There you go, baby. Hey, drop it in the hole.
We don't have any hoops anymore.
Yeah,
the wind took them.
I'm the hooper. Yeah, don't.
I know. Kobe's or LeBron. Are you a LeBron guy?
No, not a LeBron guy.
Oh, man. Lauren was like, no, absolutely not.
Not a LeBron guy. No.
Share it with your friends.
I have
family.
a lot of respect for his game. I
Yeah,
think he's a tremendous player, but I've never been a LeBron guy. I'm a Laker fan. I know he's playing for the Lakers right now, and that to me, I'm a Johnson fan. I grew up watching Magic Johnson.
Oh, I was like, Dennis Johnson? I thought he was
Magic Johnson.
A Celtic.
Oh, no. We don't do green.
Well, DJ was a Celtic, right? Or did he ever?
He played for the Seattle Supersonics, too. He won a championship with the Seattle long before he came to Boston.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Lenny Wilkins, the coach over there at
for the old
Seattle.
Atlanta Hawks, too, right?
Yeah, he was with Atlanta too, but he won the
Dominique
championship with Seattle Supersonics late 70s.
You're not lying.
I think it was
Well-versed.
79.
This is a well-versed program.
Oh, dude, I can
talk
go. I can
sports.
go some basketball. Hey, that's. Yeah, I can.
Did
I
you
can
see him
do
get
some
so
basketball.
excited?
Yeah.
Youth basketball Midwest.
No.
It just changed on
We're
everybody.
doing. We're
Hey, don't
sticking
worry.
with
Prime
baseball.
Sports Midwest does deal with basketball too.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure.
do all kind of sports. Hockey, football.
Man, I
They
think
do
I'm
it
doing
all.
pretty good at this. I should have been in marketers and like advertising or something. Yeah, like an influencer.
We love it. We're gonna do this afterwards. We're just gonna like this.
Make it happen, man.
Make it
I
happen,
got
Kevin.
like 38 followers on Instagram, so I'm definitely going to be an influencer.
Hi, my name is Mitch. Oh, man, we appreciate you. But again, subscribe. We love Prime Sports Midwest in the comments. That'll get you entered. We want to get to 1,000. We appreciate the support, and we hope you enjoy the program, and we enjoy bringing it to you. So appreciate it as always, Mitch. And we'll be back next week, as always. And don't forget, tomorrow on Wednesday, got a player spotlight, Evan DeMario. And go check out. We talked with Coach Ewell, Scott Ewell from UMSL on Monday. That was a great conversation. They just finished their non-conference schedule. They're going into their conference schedule over at UMSL. Evan DeMario player spotlight tomorrow. Thursday, of course, we're going to be out at Sports Barn with P3, Brett Graves. Don't miss that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Man, it's a big week.
That's a big local name too. Named Mr. Graves, a Howell kid. You know, where's Evan DeMario at? High school?
Rockhurst, Kansas City. Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure that
He's a dude.
he's a dude. There's no question that's a dude.
Yeah, he's got some big time. He's already committed to Mizzou. He's got some big upside.
Mizzou has a really nice class coming in, and I don't know what they're going to be like as college athletes because obviously they have to play in the SEC, which is very difficult right now to do. But seeing these Mizzou recruit very well in its state this past year is exciting because you have Norfleet going, DeMario's going.
Ty
There's a couple
Sissel is going over there too, man.
Yep, and you have some other kids in here that are heading that. I know that.
Oh,
kid
you're talking about just this year?
This year going that'll be incoming in the fall, and I think the top 10 on the spotlights to watch that you saw in some of the other affiliate stuff coming out has like 4 kids going to Mizzou.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. I mean, and like that kid from Lindbergh's going to Tennessee, but which he's another one of those guys.
He can pitch. That kid can pitch.
There's some dudes, man.
Yeah.
There are some dudes.
It's going to be a good high school season. I'm looking forward to
excited.
it. I am.
Excited.
Mitch, as always, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, don't forget we got this too.
Oh yeah.
We want to make sure that we get that.
Don't forget the hitting cage.
Yeah, it's great for the youth
Portable
side of
hitting
things too,
cage.
especially if you got it to a park that doesn't have batting cages or you're fighting for batting cage time. It is great to take a tee with
Tee.
you, soft toss,
Exactly.
you know, and hit it. And make sure that if you have any young children that you don't let them play in a bucket because they can fall in. Apparently that's a warning. Can you see the warning, Lauren?
We just did a PSA too.
Well,
Man,
I'm
we
just
are
saying.
well-rounded.
Children can fall into this bucket and drown. So if any liquid's in it, keep the lid on or children away from the bucket.
You heard it here first. Everybody, have a great day in the Lord. All you pitchers, keep throwing strikes, and hitters,
Hit it a freaking mile.
we'll see y'all next time.